Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's session, Loyalty Loop, How Small Insights Add Up to Big Business. My name is Tom Trainer, Head of Marketing at Treasure Data. We're a leading global provider of customer data platforms, or CDPs, and would love to talk with you if you're looking to improve your customer experience using the customer data you already have. For some quick housekeeping, an on-demand version of this webinar will be available immediately after the presentation, and feel free to click and download the attachments below your screen. Lastly, we'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions during or after today's session, please submit them below, and we will do our best to answer them. Now that that's all out of the way, I'm really excited to introduce our presenter, Andrew Davis. So Andrew has written for Charles Kuralt and produced for NBC. But more impressively, he's worked for the Muppets and MTV. And he co-founded, built, and sold a marketing agency. You might have seen him on the Today Show or in the New York Times. He's a best-selling author and one of the most influential marketers in the world. And he's had more coffee today than you'll drink in a week. So without further ado, here's Andrew.
Yay, thanks, Tom. This is so much fun. Thanks for putting together such a great summer webinar series. It's just been fantastic. So big props to you guys for taking the time and energy and effort and giving us some really great insight over the summer when usually we're able to do other stuff and wouldn't have time for this, but this is great. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of these. Awesome. Well, this is fun. Look, whether you sell cars or maybe you sell fast-moving consumer packaged goods, maybe you sell appliances, maybe you sell a service, maybe you sell software, or maybe you sell dog treats. It doesn't matter. Marketing your business has never been more complicated, more convoluted, more confusing, or more overwhelming. No, I'm serious. It's just we live in an age where there is always something new and there's always something next. Like even when the pandemic hit, you know, I downloaded TikTok and I was mesmerized by TikTok. TikTok. It's so much fun. Like I was having a blast just hanging out on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok, so much fun. TikTok is the next big thing. TikTok is everywhere. In fact, a few days after I had been mesmerized by TikTok, I found myself reading a case study about Chipotle. Did you guys know that Chipotle made $1 million in one day off of one campaign on TikTok? Yeah, TikTok. TikTok is the next big thing. You have got to be on TikTok. Maybe you're already killing it on TikTok. But I only know Chipotle is killing it on TikTok, but we gotta be there. TikTok is it. There's always something new and there's always something next. And that's what we're dealing with. And that's why we feel so overwhelmed. We've got to find a better way. So today, I want to start asking some challenging questions. We are going to look for a better way. How can we find a better way to maximize our return on investment? Where and when should we spend our marketing dollars? Where should we put our resources, our time, and our energy so that we have a maximum return on investment? That's what we're looking for, because there is always something new and there is always something next. And it's leading to this real sense of overwhelming anxiety. But on top of that, it's spreading our marketing too thin. It's spreading our time too thin, our resources, our energy too thin. And the truth is, the marketing pizza pie isn't getting any bigger. It's just getting sliced more ways. The marketing pizza pie isn't getting any bigger. It's just getting sliced more ways. Yeah, it really is. Pizza time! Look at that. Let's go back to 1998 and let's remember what the marketing meetings were like way back then. It was like, hey, all right, guys, I'm glad we're getting together for our 1999 marketing budget meeting. Where should we spend our money? Anybody have any ideas? Anyone? Oh, love it. Events. Let's do some events. High five. 33%. 33% to events. Let's do some events. Ha ha. Anybody else? Yeah? Yeah, PR. Let's do some PR. Let's get some big name magazine coverage. High five, my friends. 33%. Anyone else? We got 33% else here. Advertising. Oh, also 33%. Let's do it. That's it. Let's go to lunch. Yep, that was the whole meeting. Yes, marketing used to be very simple. Now let's fast forward to 2000. Someone walks into your office and they're like, hey, how you doing? You guys heard of the triple dubs, the www, the web, the interwebs? Yeah, you heard of it? Well, you need a website with a bunch of pages. It's like a brochure, but it's a virtual brochure. They're not real pages, they're virtual pages. You click a link and then you get a new page. Look, let's take your brochure and turn it into a website. It's the next big thing. And you're like, no, I don't think we have a budget for that. And they were like, yes, you do. Let's take the budget out of PR because no one does PR anymore. You're like, I guess I can do that. All right, let's do it. Let's get a website. Now let's fast forward just a couple of months. Somebody walks in and they're like, hey, I can't find your website. I was on Alta Vista and Ask Jeeves and Yahoo. You guys remember those? All the big ones. And I couldn't find your website. You need some SEO. And you're like, SEO? What? SEO. You need some search engine optimization. We're going to fix the code and then you're just going to appear on the page one of the searches. It's going to be amazing. You're like, I don't think we have a budget for that. And they're like, yeah, you do. You should take it out of events because no one goes to events anymore. And you're like, okay, I guess so. Let's do that. Now, let's fast forward again. Somebody walks in and they're like, hey, man, I still can't find your website. You're on page 3 of this brand new search engine everyone's using called Google. You should Google your own company because you're on page 3. You need to be on page 1. And guess what? You can buy an ad on page 1. And you're like, really? You can buy page 1? Why didn't the last guy tell me that? And they say, yeah, you can do some search engine marketing or SEM. You just buy ads on the first page and at the top and you show up and everyone loves it. They see it and now you've got new business coming right in the door and you say, I don't know if I have a budget for this. And they say, no, you do. You should take it out of advertising because it's just a new kind of advertising. And you're like, fine. No problem. I got this. Fast forward a few days later, somebody walks in. They're like, dude, you heard of PPC? And you're like, yeah, we're a drug-free organization. We don't do PPC here. And the guy's like, no, dude. No, PPC, pay per click. You're spending all this money on ads. People see. Why wouldn't you spend money on people clicking the ad? And you're like, that's genius. Why didn't the previous guy tell me that? But where do I get the budget? Dude, take it out of SEO. High five. No one does SEO anymore. Yep, let's just take it out of there. Then just a few days later, hey guys, I was wondering if you've heard of Twitter. No? Yes, doesn't matter. You really need to tweet. Twitter's brand new. It's awesome. It's 2007. You guys got to tweet every single day. You know you can make like $1 billion out of Twitter. You should tweet. If you don't tweet, I can help you tweet. You need a social strategy. You see, I used to be in PR, but no one does that anymore. Now I'm a social media consultant and you say, look, where am I going to find the budget for this? And she says, take it out of events because social media is just like a virtual event. And you do. You take it out of events. And today it's like, hey, how are you doing? Well, where's your Instagram strategy? Are you Instagramming? Where's your influencer strategy? Have you got an influencer strategy? I don't see your Facebook ads. Are you Facebook adding? You need to buy some Facebook ads. Did you TikTok today? You need to TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. I can't do it anymore. I can't. Do you feel this pain? We can't do this anymore. We have to find a better way. We're spending, I don't know, like 8.3% of our time on everything. Everything. Our CMO pizza isn't getting any bigger. It's just getting sliced more ways. Oh, yeah, it's just getting sliced more ways, my friend. I hope you feel this pain because if you are marketing anything, we have sliced it to the minimum. And if we're going to be successful, we've got to question the conventional wisdom. We need to find a better way. Now, if you have questions while we're doing this, I want to see you typing them into the question box so that we can get to them at the end. We're going to take questions. but we're going to have to challenge ourselves. And that's what we're going to do over the next few minutes. I want you to challenge the fundamentals. We've got to address the fundamentals of marketing if we're going to rethink the experience we deliver. If we're going to provide value and actually use the data and insight we have, we've got to transform the experience by rethinking the fundamentals. And we're going to do that right now at the pool. The first thing we need to challenge is the funnel. Now, if you're not familiar with the marketing and sales funnel, that's okay. It's very simple. You know what a funnel is, right? It's got a wide mouth and a small bottom, and this is the marketing and sales funnel. And at the top of the funnel is awareness. You've got to raise awareness for your brand, your product, your company in the marketplace. Now, some of those people who are aware of your brand might consider buying from you, and some of those people might show some intent to purchase, and some of those people might actually purchase your product or service. Then some of those people might become loyal advocates for your brand. Just these ones dropping out the bottom right there. Yeah, don't have enough of those? That's okay. Just go back to the top. Raise more awareness. You just need a bigger funnel. That's how it works. Very simple. You got to raise awareness for your brand in the marketplace. I'm a history buff, so I actually went back to find out when the funnel was invented. The funnel was invented in 1898. 1898 by a guy named St. Elmo Lewis. Now, he didn't draw a funnel, I'll give you that. He drew a scale, but the concept is fundamentally the same. 1898, by the way, is the very same year that Thomas Edison patented the light bulb. That's how old this concept is. Now, St. Elmo Lewis believed that if he just got the attention, interest, desire, and conviction in the mind of the consumer you were targeting, you would outweigh any objection to the sale, and you'd literally walk away with the sale. Yes, literally walk away with the sale, because this concept was used to help traveling salesmen, and it worked. All of a sudden, people were hooked. They were like, this is genius. 1898. What have we done since then? How has this concept evolved? Well, marketers and salespeople have tried to help us re-envision this. There's the mirrored triangles with an added gray arrow. By the way, I spent an hour trying to figure out if you need the gray arrow. You do not. It's just totally unnecessary. We just like arrows. It's fundamentally the same as in 1898. How about this one? Here is the funnel inside of a more complicated funnel with two blue arrows. Yeah, that's it. This is my favorite arrow in the world, by the way. It says, money in your pocket. It's like, hey, you guys having trouble with marketing? Oh, no. Just do this. Just do all this stuff. And then look, money in your pocket, just shove it in. It's fundamentally the same as in 1898. How about this one here? This is the FU funnel. Some genius has inserted tofu, mofu, and bofu right there, right in the middle. I don't even know what that is. No one knows what it is, but it's fundamentally the same as in 1898. A lot has changed since 1898, my friends. Today we have cars, we have airplanes, we have radio, we have television, we have personal computers, we have the internet. I think we can all agree that the way we buy has changed since 1898. Why then? Why is the model we're using today fundamentally the same as in 1898? Look, there are two fundamental problems with the funnel. The first is it's linear. Yeah, we do not buy in a linear fashion. Watch your partner or spouse or kids buy anything. They have like 90 browser tabs open, right? That's not linear. The second problem is it relies on our ability to raise awareness. Not enough buyers or prospects, or that's okay. That's all right. You can't get not enough. Yeah, just get a bigger funnel. Yeah, we need a new model that better represents how people buy today. Welcome to the Lightboard. Now, let me introduce you to a new model, a new way to envision the consumer journey. And you'll notice immediately that it doesn't look like the funnel. You'll also notice that it has arrows. And from our history lesson, you should know that we love arrows. This is the new model, the new kind of consumer journey. And you should notice two things right away. Number one, it's not linear. It's a series of interlocking loops. And this is how people buy today. The second thing you should know is you can start anywhere because it's not linear with a starting point here and a starting and an ending point there. You can start anywhere in this model. This model is what I call the loyalty loop. The loyalty loop. That's right. Now, let me explain how it works. No, you know what? Instead of me explaining how it works, that's pretty boring. Why don't we go on a journey to buy something together so that we see how it works, and I'll map the journey along the way. How does that sound? Let's go buy something fun, like let's go buy a car. Our journey begins early in the morning. We've just made some coffee and we're sitting down at our kitchen table. Now, I like going through yesterday's mail in the morning with a cup of coffee in hand. That's good coffee. Now, the first thing I do is I pull out those Bed Bath & Beyond coupons. You know the ones, but it doesn't look like we got one this week, which is kind of a bummer because even though there's an expiration date on those Bed Bath & Beyond coupons, they don't ever expire. That's a little pro tip for you guys. Now, I look for anything that's finance related. No. Nope. Aha, there we are. Here's an envelope from Nissan Finance. Now, we lease a Nissan Murano, and we're thinking to ourselves right now, as we sip our coffee, oh my gosh, I bet we forgot to pay the lease last month. So we're like, you better read this, right? So we open the letter. Now, here's how we read letters. The first thing we do when we open up a letter is we actually look at who wrote this letter. This letter is from Rachel. Okay, now we imagine what Rachel sounds like, and then we read the letter as if we're Rachel. Okay, here we go.
Dear valued customer, thank you for choosing Nissan Finance as your dedicated finance source. Our records indicate that your lease will expire in 30 days.
30 days? 30 days? We have to buy a brand new car in 30 days? What kind of car are we going to buy? I don't know, maybe a Nissan? Wait, freeze it. Freeze it right there. Let's go to the light board. Now, we need to freeze it right there because the first step in the new consumer journey, the loyalty loop, has just occurred. The first step in any consumer journey is called the moment of inspiration. That's right, the moment of inspiration. A moment of inspiration is an instant in time that sends you on a journey you never expected. A moment of inspiration is an instant in time that sends you on a journey you never expected. Now, we didn't wake up this morning expecting to buy a car. We didn't put the date on our calendar. We completely forgot that our lease is expiring. And now, reading that letter, we have just experienced a moment of inspiration, an MOI. Moments of inspiration happen for every type of purchase, no matter what it is, and they happen all the time. Let's say you're eating tuna salad for lunch, and you've got a meeting right after lunch, and suddenly you realize, wait a second, I bet I have tuna salad breath, I need some gum. Boom! That's a moment of inspiration. Or maybe you're just sitting in bed browsing through Instagram and you see your friend just posted this amazing picture of a meal she made in an Instant Pot. And you're like, oh my goodness, I need an Instant Pot. Boom! That's a moment of inspiration. Or maybe you buy your first boat and you have no idea how to dock it. And suddenly you say to yourself, you know what? I should probably get some serious boat insurance. Boom! That is a moment of inspiration, an instant in time that's sending you on a journey you never expected. Now, two things happen subconsciously and unintentionally every single time a moment of inspiration occurs. In fact, they already occurred while we were reading that letter. Did you guys see them? No? Okay. Let's do this. Let's rewind and then let's slow it down. And as we watch us read the letter again, let's see if we can identify the next two things that happen instantaneously, subconsciously, and unintentionally every time a moment of inspiration occurs. All right, unfreeze.
Your lease will expire in 30 days.
30 days, 30 days. We have to buy a car in 30 days. What kind of car are we gonna buy? I don't know, maybe a Nissan? Freeze it right there. Back to the light board. I'm frozen. All right, did you guys see it? Did you pick up those two things that happen subconsciously and unintentionally every time a moment of inspiration occurs? Let's break them down, okay? The first thing that happens every time a moment of inspiration occurs is a question pops into your mind, a trigger question. That's right. It's called a trigger question. A trigger question is the first question that pops into your mind anytime that moment of inspiration occurs. So our trigger question is, what kind of car are we going to buy? And immediately our brain wants to answer that question. In fact, our brain has a deep desire for an answer to every question and this deep aversion to any ambiguity. And immediately it wants an answer to that question. So we're sent on a journey we never expected to buy a car. We ask ourselves, what kind of car are we going to buy? That's the trigger question. And next thing you know, a prime brand, this is a magnet, a prime brand pops into our head. A prime brand. The prime brand is the first brand your brain thinks of when that trigger question occurs for that moment of inspiration. So what's our prime brand? Our prime brand is Nissan. We're sitting there right at the kitchen table with an envelope that says Nissan Finance on it and letterhead that says Nissan. Nissan is our prime brand. Now, we can't buy a car right now. We've got other stuff we need to take care of, like, head to work. Now, we're moving into the next phase in the journey. The next phase right here is called active evaluation. And in active evaluation, we are adding and subtracting brands as we move closer and closer to the next moment in our journey. So we're on our way to work. We're just listening to the radio, having a good morning, not thinking about buying a car at all because we've got other stuff to do. We cannot buy a car right now. We're stopped at a light and all of a sudden a car turns right in front of us and it's the brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Ha! Boom! We add the Jeep Grand Cherokee to our list because we like that new body style they've got and we think, maybe we should give that car a shot. We drive a little further, change radio stations, and all of a sudden, another car whizzes right past us. And we think, I think that's the Audi Q3. We test drove the Audi Q3 last time. Boom! We add it to the list. Now we're almost at the office when all of a sudden a beautiful white car pulls out right in front of us. It's getting a good pickup and I can't really read the brand on the back of the car. It's a car I've never seen before. It's probably brand new. I don't know. I'm nervous. I accelerate just a little so I can catch up, and it's a Porsche Macan. Never heard of it, but it's a nice looking car. Porsche Macan. Boom! It's on the list. Now we get to our office and we sit down at our desk and we go to the first place we all go to when we get on the web. What is it? Yeah, go ahead right now. If you know what it is, I want you to type it into the chat right now. What is it? Where do you go first when you get on the web for anything? Yeah, what is it? I'll open it up right now. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we go to Google. We go to the Googs and we type it in. We type in our question. How much is a Porsche Macan? And then we take it off the list. This is how we buy. We're adding and subtracting brands as we move closer and closer to the next moment that matters most in the journey. Here's the thing, 90% of all consumers know what brand they want to work with before you've ever heard of them. That's right, according to Google, 90% of all consumers know what brand they want to work with before you've ever heard of them. That means they've already completed most of active evaluation before you've ever got their phone number or their email address or they've ever reached out. Okay, so look, we're gravitating towards the Audi Q3. We went to the Consumer Reports website, we watched lots of YouTube videos, we asked some friends who have Audi Q3s for a ride. We've read everything you could possibly read about Audi Q3s, and now we're finally going to a website of a dealership close to us, and we decide to set up an appointment to go test drive an Audi Q3. That's all we're doing. Now, we get to the website, and the moment we start entering our information right here, we are executing the next step in our journey. This right here is the moment of commitment. Yeah. A moment of commitment is the instant we trade money, data, or time for products, services, information, or to support a cause. What's important here is that we've locked them up in a relationship that's more about information and data than it is just about money. It's not just about the sale. We need to remember that data and time are just as valuable as money, and we need to create an experience that feels that way. So we fill out the make an appointment form on the Audi dealer's website, first and last name, phone number, email address. We pick a time and date for our test drive appointment. And the instant we hit submit, is the moment we've executed a moment of commitment. Submit. And now we move into the loyalty loop. The loyalty loop. The loyalty loop is just a series of experiences that leave an impression. Imagine you attach an emoji to every interaction after a moment of commitment. How does it make the consumer feel? What is the feeling they would attach to every single little interaction? A loyalty loop is just a series of encounters that leave an impression. What impression are you leaving after that meeting or after every email you send or even after the sale?
You've got mail.
Oh, look at that. It looks like the Audi team has sent me an email confirmation. Let me just read it to you. Dear Andrew! Yeah, it's all caps. Thanks. Looking forward to our appointment for Thursday and April 11. Thursday and April 11? Is it Thursday? That's April. What is, I don't even know what that is. If you want to confirm or reschedule, please respond to this email or text me at salesperson phone. Salesperson Terry. What the hell? Terry, here's the emoji I attached to that interaction. Terry, I want to punch you in the face. See, that's the impression I get from this email. See, that's the impression I get from the Audi experience so far. Attach an emoji to every interaction in your loyalty loop. What kind of impression are we leaving with every encounter we have? You see, a great loyalty loop experience is designed to create a new moment of inspiration that triggers a new question in the mind of your clients or consumers, their family and friends, audience or context, where you're the prime brand, and it leads them right to you, to a moment of commitment where you get to create another great loyalty loop experience. We must craft our loyalty loops. Use the customers, clients, prospects, and leads we've got to get more of the leads we want. It's the simplest way to build our brand and maximize our return on investment for the marketing energy and effort we put in. It has the highest rate of return. In fact, let me show you someone who's done this. Let's talk about building a loyalty loop by starting at the moment of commitment. Let me introduce you to Stephen Jones. Steven sells windows, siding, and doors, and he owns a company called Tulsa Renew. Now, Steven is essentially a contractor, and I happened to meet Steven at a conference a couple years ago, and Steven asked me if I'd take a look at his website, and I said, yeah, sure, no problem. So Steven pulls up his website, and he's like, hey, check it out. It's my brand new homepage. And I'm like, look, Steven, this doesn't look any different than everybody else. This is just showing me you're just like every other contractor in the world. And he's like, well, wait a second. You click on any of these pictures and you actually get before and after photos. And I'm like, Steven, look, every contractor has to show before and after photos because you're in the transformation business. And he's like, oh, okay, well, check this out. Our About Us page has a brand new video I shot. It's 36 seconds long, and it's with me, the owner, the founder, Steven Jones of Tulsa Renew. And he hits play, and 9 seconds into this video, I stopped. You see, there's nothing special about that video, but there is something special on his homepage. Right here, it says he provides the ultimate client experience. Yeah, ultimate client experience. And I'm like, what is that? Do you really do that? And he's like, oh yeah, we do provide the ultimate client experience. And then he says this, at Tulsa Renew, we believe that you should know exactly what's being done to your house, even when you're not at home every single day. We're on the job. And I'm like, man, that sounds good. Steven, how do you do this? And he's like, well, I'm happy to explain. Here's what we do. Now, imagine it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you just came back from lunch, you're at your office and somebody's supposed to be working on your house. And suddenly you get an email from your contractor. And in that email is a link to a private video on YouTube. Now, the first thing you're thinking is, oh no, I wonder what's happened. So you hit play and then you get this.
Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Pellider, just want to give you an update on what we're doing this morning. We're, of course, got the Tyvek up here, and we're starting the starter strip for this next row of siding. Got the flashing installed up the rake here.
How amazing is that, right? I've hired contractors of all kinds for 20 years, and I've never seen anything like this. Never. Here's what happens to people in the office. They click on this video, they're amazed, and they go like this. Hey, Tony, you got to come check this out. You got to come see this video. And Tony's like, not right now. I'm playing Words with Friends. And you're like, dude, you've got to check this out. So when Tony walks over, you hit play on the video, and in 3 seconds, he's like, holy smokes, your contractor sends you videos? Yeah, he does. Who's your contractor? Trigger question right there. My contractor is Steven Jones from Tulsa Renew. Prime brand right there. Can you send me his info? Absolutely. Moment of commitment. Right there, very fast. For every video Steven Jones sends, the first day he's on the job, he gets 11 referrals, and he closes 7 of those. And he costs, on average, 25% more than every other contractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. People buy the experience. Now, maybe you're saying this must cost an arm and a leg to execute such an unbelievable experience. No, it doesn't. Here's what Steven did. He went online onto the iTunes store and downloaded an app called Coach's Eye for $4.99. Coach's Eye is meant for a golf coach who's trying to help you perfect your swing, but Steven just repurposed it. He taught his foreman how to use it. Then they send these videos off every day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
So notice the position of the hands.
Steven Jones understands something very simple. He understands that we don't sell a product or a service. We sell an experience. The truth is, we don't have to have the best products or the best services, but we do have to deliver the best experience. You see, a great experience is clearly communicated, it's ownable, it's referable, and amazingly, a great experience lasts longer than just buying a product or using a service. It lingers in people's minds as a great experience. The micro moments, the little moments, are the ones that leave the major impression. So, stop telling me you're different and start showing me you're different. How is your loyalty loop experience different? What if we transform our loyalty loop experience? We've just got to start by asking ourselves one simple question. What is our consumer's biggest post-commitment concern?
And just keep trucking right along. So thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, all right, all right. Now we have the basics down for the loyalty loop. We know what it looks like, and you've seen that it's basically a loop. Here's the thing. It's not a flat one-time loop, right? Like there are multiple moments of commitments and moments of inspiration in a relationship. And if we're going to leverage the data and the experience we provide so that it actually feels like a personalized experience, an experience that I would talk about or share with others, we've actually got to realize that it's not a flat experience. Let me grab my slinky. It's more like a slinky, okay? Like this. It's like that, a slinky. You guys remember the slinky? I hope you do, all right? The slinky is what I'm talking about. It's a series of encounters, every single one where you can attach an emoji. So we start maybe here with a moment of inspiration that leads to a moment of commitment, and that leads to a new moment of inspiration that leads to a new moment of commitment that leads to a new moment of inspiration that leads to a new moment of commitment, and on it goes. It's a spiral of an experience. So if we can get them to commit early, to make a small commitment, trade some data or some time to build that relationship, we can build hundreds of interactions using data and historical perspectives to figure out how to take at the very top of our spiral, doubters, and turn them into believers at the bottom. That's the goal. Now, here's the thing. There are 6 things, only 6, that the best brands in the world do to try to build that relation, to create a great loyalty loop experience. I'm going to run through them quickly. There are 6 of them, okay? Raise anticipation, maximize the honeymoon phase, re-inspire people to go on a new loop of the journey, answer their trigger questions, remove friction, and scale camaraderie. That's right. Those are the 6. Now, we don't have time to go through all 6, but I promise at the end of this, I'll give you my email address, or if you have questions about it, put it in the question box right now so that we get to those, and I can run through them again. But we're going to go through 2 of them. We have time to do 2. So I picked 2 that I hope resonate with you guys. We're going to dive deep into one right now. All right, you ready? Let's do it. After every moment of commitment, one of the most important things we can do is raise anticipation. Now, remember that pizza I ordered at the beginning of this presentation? Yes, that pizza is from Domino's. And if you've ever used the Domino's pizza online order tracker, you know the power of raising anticipation. If you haven't ever ordered a pizza from Domino's using the order tracker, that, my friends, is your homework. Now, earlier today, I ordered the pizza at my desk. I went online and I customized my pizza, and that, to be honest, is not the cool part. Here's what happens after you submit your order. You see, after the moment of commitment, you get an email that says something like this. Thank you for placing your order. Check out Domino's order tracker. Click here to track. So I click here to track because I'm at work. What else am I going to do, right? I could do work or I could track my pizza. Yeah, track my pizza. Immediately, it'll take you to this page where there's music playing and it says, Vanessa began making my pizza. Who the hell is Vanessa? I don't know, but she's awesome. Thank you so much for making my pizza, Vanessa. I never knew who made my pizza before, nor did I ever care. But all of a sudden, I'm more excited than ever before about Vanessa handling my pizza. Thank you, Vanessa. You're the best. Now I'm starting to wonder. Number 1 is preparing my pizza. Number 2, I'm like, what the heck is number 2? I don't know. I guess I should wait. Then number 2 happens. Vanessa put it in the oven. I should have guessed it's in the oven. Thank you, Vanessa. You're the best. Thank you so much for putting it in the oven. You're awesome. High five, Vanessa. Then I'm waiting for number 3. And the order tracker has themes. You can pick themes. You can change the music. There's a tropical theme. There's a heavy metal theme. So I'm playing around with all of that. And all of a sudden it moves to 3. Then it moves to 4, quality check. And then John is leaving the building with my pizza. I never knew the pizza guy's name before, never cared before. But now I'm so excited. And a few minutes later, 10 minutes later to be exact, John shows up and I'm like, hey, John, high five. He's like, dude, did you use the pizza tracker? And I'm like, yeah, that thing is awesome. And he hands me a pizza. And immediately right there on the box is the next moment of inspiration. The box is inviting me to download the app so I can feel this way anytime. Yeah, 1 click, you can get a pizza. Download the app. Here's the deal. Don't eat the pizza. The pizza sucks, actually. It was terrible pizza. This is not about the pizza. This is about the power of raising anticipation. The online order tracker raises our anticipation. And more than that, it invites us to share our enthusiasm with the rest of the world. If you go on Twitter any day of the week, just search Domino's order tracker and you'll see tweets like this. Love the Domino's order tracker. Now I can say things like, yo, Brandon, when the delivery boy walks up, or watching the Domino's tracker on my order makes me so excited. I love that. I love it. Domino's order tracker is so cool. You see exactly where and who you are in the process of making your pizza. Now, I just want to point out this one tweet right here. Domino's awesome technology. His order, which consisted entirely of a soda, had been placed in the oven. Yeah, the technology isn't even that smart. You see, this is not about the technology. You do not need an app like this for your customers or clients or prospects. You just need to embrace the idea the app creates. Raise their anticipation. On Instagram, people take pictures of the tracker and then say things like, Domino's order tracker is the coolest thing ever, patiently waiting for Devin to bring us his pizza. He left at 8:59. Or how about this guy? This cracks me up. Sometimes I order Domino's just to use the pizza tracker. He doesn't even want pizza. He just loves the pizza tracker. Domino's launched the pizza tracker in 2010. And by 2012, they had done $1 billion worth of online orders. $1 billion. It's not because the pizza is good. Trust me. And it's not just because you can order a pizza online, because tons of other people offer that. Ordering a pizza is no longer a task. It's an experience. That's the difference. Raise anticipation for our arrival in your customers' lives. What if we raise anticipation? Ask yourself, what is our pizza tracker? All right, welcome to my wife's closet. Let's talk about another loyalty loop driver, maximizing the honeymoon phase. If we're going to create a series of micro moments that leave a great impression, we're going to need to maximize the honeymoon phase. We'll want to use the peak of our consumers' enthusiasm to create emotional, insightful, powerful reviews and referrals. Now, no one understands the power of maximizing their honeymoon phase better than Rent the Runway. Okay, now for those of you that don't know Rent the Runway offers women the ability to rent designer gowns for special occasions. It's an infinite closet. So whether it's a special occasion like a wedding or a gala or just a night out, you can rent a fancy outfit instead of buying one. Here's how it works. You select a dress, tell them when your special occasion is, they send you the gown a couple of days before, you wear it and send it back. Simple. Now, their gowns are no different than a gown you could buy at, say, Nordstrom's. They're all designer gowns. But let's take a look at a review for a gorgeous gown on Nordstrom's website. Now, as I read this review, let's try and identify the one thing that is missing from this review. 5 stars, mother of the bride dress. This dress is gorgeous. It's so comfortable and feels pretty light. I bought it for my daughter's wedding, which is outdoors in the summertime. It should be perfect. I'm 5'4" and 150 pounds. I bought a size 2. I'll need to have it hemmed, and I may have to take it in just a little, although it fits very well as it is. The color is a true navy. Stunning dress. Now, that's a very nice review. It's 5 stars, but what's it missing? What's missing is true emotion. It's just very level-headed experience. Why? Why is it missing emotion? Well, it's clear she hasn't actually worn the dress yet. You see, Nordstrom's ask you for the review after you buy the dress, and that's the kind of review or referral you get, an emotionless review. Now, go to the Rent the Runway site and pick any dress and just start reading the reviews. Now, before I read you one of the Rent the Runway reviews, let's think about when you might be most excited about the gown you rented for an event. Is it before you wear the dress, like Nordstrom's? Nope. It's after you've worn the dress. In fact, there's a special reason you're more likely to write an emotional review after the party. Let's read this review. First of all, look at that picture, okay? 5 stars. Beautiful. Must rent. She says, I would definitely recommend renting this dress. You will definitely receive many compliments in this dress. You see, before you leave the house, you're like, I'm not sure about this dress. But after the 15th compliment, you're like, heck yeah, I look good in this outfit. Let's look at another one, all right? All right, absolutely stunning. 5 stars. This is seriously the most beautiful dress ever. I received so many compliments. It fit perfectly. I felt sexy and confident. I want this in my closet forever. Absolutely stunning. You see, Rent the Runway is maximizing their honeymoon phase by knowing when to ask for the review or referral. Getting our client, customer, or prospect at the peak of their enthusiasm will outweigh any objections they have to the product or service. Take a look at this review. Showstopper, perfect fit. I'm 5'4", wore 4-inch heels, and this dress was way too long. Only the long was available in my size, so I had to hold it at the bottom with my hand so it wouldn't drag. The side zipper was weird and it poked out a little bit, but it wasn't noticeable. Seriously, one of my favorite dresses I've ever worn. What? It didn't sound like it with all those problems. How about this one? I love this dress. Yes, I wore 2 in one evening. Belle of the ball. Many compliments. The chest was way too big and I had to pin it. Double-sided tape would have been even better. I should have tanned my lower half though. Laughing out loud. Everyone loved this dress on me. It's not a true red, more of a stunning orange. Terrible dress. Great experience. We need to get them at the right time. See, what Rent the Runway understands is it's not when we buy the dress, it's when we wear it for the first time. At Rent the Runway, they call this the after party glow moment. They know how to ask for the review or referral at the peak of consumers' enthusiasm. Here's their secret. You see, Rent the Runway knows only one thing Nordstrom's doesn't: the date of your special occasion. So they know the wedding you attended was last night. And as you sit there drinking your morning coffee, flipping through all those amazing photos of you looking so fine, ding, hey, I bet you looked great last night. You probably got a ton of compliments. If you did, would you like to share one of those amazing pictures of you in your dress? Upload it right now and give us a review. We'd love to know what you thought. And people are like, heck yeah, look at this picture of me. Upload stunning dress. That is what has turned Rent the Runway into a billion-dollar company. They understand how to embrace true emotion and get people excited about the products and the impression their customers have after every rental. We need to look for our after-party glow moments. What if we maximize our honeymoon phase? What's your after-party glow moment? Now, I promised we'd buy a car together today, so let's do it. Where do we leave off? Oh, yeah, that terrible email from Terry. So we had an appointment scheduled on Thursday and April 11th to test drive our Audi Q3. Meanwhile, my wife, Elizabeth, went on a 3-day spa weekend with her college friends in Connecticut. And when she returned, glowing from the amazing treatments at the spa, she offhandedly says, hey, I know we were going to test drive the Audi, but I think we should also test drive Elisa's car. You see, Elizabeth spent 3 hours each way in Elisa's car driving to and from the spa, and she loved it. Okay, I say, what kind of car does Elisa have? A Mercedes GLE 350, she says. And I was like, no. If I can't get the Porsche Macan, we're not getting the Mercedes GLE 350. And then she says, let's just go test drive it at Mercedes-Benz of Burlington. That's where Elisa got her car. Look, if you're really keen on this car, I'm happy to go test drive it with you, I say. So we go to the Mercedes-Benz of Burlington website and I fill out their make an appointment form just like Audi's. Now, I didn't research the vehicle. I didn't watch YouTube videos, no Consumer Reports articles. So we show up at the dealership for the appointment. We pull into a parking space that says customers. And we get out of the car, and right there is a black Mercedes GL 350 and a guy named Bruce. Bruce walks over and says, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, would you like to test drive this Mercedes GLE 350 in black?" And we're like, "Yeah, we do." Now, I don't know the legal ramifications of this, but he doesn't take my driver's license or ask for insurance or anything. He just says, "Let's get in the car." He's removing friction and building a relationship immediately. He's creating an experience. So I go to get in the driver's side, and Elizabeth walks around to the other side, and I think she's getting in the car, but all of a sudden she pokes her head in the window and she says, "Hey, look, I spent 6 hours in Elisa's car. I'm not going to go for the test drive. I'll see you when we get back." And I'm like, no, babe. We talked about this. Unified force. You never separate at a car dealership. Babe, unified force. And then she's gone, right? So now it's 21 minutes, me and Bruce driving around, and all I'm thinking is, oh my gosh, I bet she's signing the papers right now. This lease is going to be so expensive. I do not want this car. We get back, and I try to be courteous to Bruce, and I'm like, "Bruce, we've got to find my wife." Now, the dealership is very nice inside. It's a Mercedes dealership, but I want to point out that this Mercedes dealer doesn't do anything any dealership couldn't do to craft a great loyalty loop experience. "Bruce, we've got to find my wife." And he's like, "I know where she is." So we walk past the new cars, down a hallway, and into a nice waiting area with an awesome espresso bar. And my wife's not there. Now I'm really panicking. I'm like, oh man, she's definitely in the finance office. And I'm like, "Bruce, she's not here." And he's like, no, don't worry. If she's not here, I know exactly where she is. So we walk past the service department, past the bathrooms, and now he opens a frosted glass door to reveal the nail salon. And there's my wife sitting right there getting her nails done. And I'm like, "Babe, what the heck are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm getting my nails done. Did you know that anytime you bring your car in for service at the Mercedes-Benz in Burlington, you can get your nails done for free?" And I was like, "Babe, in 17 years, you've never taken the car in for service. Not once, never." And she says, "I will now." Today, we drive the most well-serviced Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 in the world. Bruce. Oh, Bruce. We're going to get to your questions in just a second. So I see that there's some coming in. So look, you and I have been on a really fantastic journey already today. We went and bought a car. We saw how one brand transformed their experience. We sliced our marketing pizza pie up. We actually saw the power of the loyalty loop at the light board, and we learned the power of the honeymoon phase in the closet. And we even felt the anticipation Domino's creates when you order a pizza. It's been fun. But look, here's the deal. You already have everything you need to transform your customer experience. You've got tons and tons of data and insight and information that you can use to create that spiral effect. So whether it's the next phone call you make to a prospect or a customer, or it's maybe the next meeting that you're going to have with them at the dealership, or maybe you're going to send out a support person to work on their appliance, or maybe you're just selling dog treats and you've got a great customer database, we've got to think about the very next interaction we're going to have. Now, I promise I'll give you the other 6 loyalty loop drivers. I'll make sure Tom has access to those, and we can send out a link to everybody that's here today if you want those. But look, I want you to craft an experience. And just remember this one thing. What impression are you leaving with every encounter you have with the customers and clients you serve? All right, Tom, what do you think?
Great stories. And wow, Bruce really did a number on you.
Yes, Bruce built a great consumer experience. Lots of little touches, little moments that made the biggest difference. And that's what's special about, I think, building a loyalty loop and using the insight you already have. I honestly don't know how Bruce knew that we wanted a black car because we didn't fill that out And he may have actually seen like a picture on Instagram of our black Nissan Murano. I don't know, but It was really well done.
Yeah, my wife cannot watch this webinar.
Exactly. This is the problem.
That was really insightful. I love the loyalty loop drivers and thinking about the micro moments during the journey, especially with the little emojis. We're going to definitely have to think about that at Treasure Data. And, you really got us all thinking. So thank you for that.
It's my pleasure.
Questions, so we'd love to get to those. And so the first one we have is about, let's see, how do we know what our customer's moment of inspiration is?
The easiest way is to honestly ask them a very specific question. So, for example, we work with a furniture store, and usually when you walk into a furniture store, they say, "Hey, what can I help you find today? What are you looking for today? How can I help you today?" This is a very limiting question, and the secret question to get to the moment of inspiration for consumers is to ask them this: what inspired you to ... What inspired you to ... The use of the word inspired kind of forces them to start at the very beginning of the story. They will tell you the moment of inspiration. So now when you walk into a furniture store, if somebody says, "Hey, what inspired you to come in today?" They say things like, "Well, we just bought a new house and the current couch we have is too small for the living room, so we're looking for a bigger couch." Well, we know they're looking for a bigger couch, but bing, 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 we know their moment of inspiration was they actually moved. So we might be able to sell them a whole house if we can make a great experience out of this first step in their journey. So that's the super secret question to finding moments of inspiration. And it's best done, by the way, with some real serious data mining. You might be able to find it, or asking consumers, outright, or just talking to the consumers you're working with, either through your support team or actually on the floor at a retail space. So ask them the question.
Right. Or I can think of, the sales development reps could ask it when they're first called.
Absolutely.
Or after, you can go ask them, your customers, like, "Oh, just remind me of kind of how you got inspired," or even the customers that don't purchase.
Exactly. You want to know the bigger item that actually sent them on the journey in the first place. It's usually farther down, farther before active evaluation than we're even marketing. And it's a tremendous opportunity for us to use the insight we learn about that to find other customers that might be on the exact same journey and target them with a better experience.
So the next one is, let's see, how do you string a series of loops together? Like you mentioned, the slinky.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the slinky effect. Yeah. Here's the deal. This is a good question, because what you really want to do is you got to break down your interactions and campaigns into smaller moments. So I think the biggest mistake we're making as consumer marketers today is we're thinking about like big, giant steps in their journey. We're going to send them email number 1, and then next week we're going to try to inspire them to buy something new. We'll send email number 2. Well, a lot happens to the consumer in between those interactions. So if you can break them down and have smaller emoji interactions, even smaller bite-sized interactions, like send a small text message with just one idea or one experience that might make them happy, that's going to build to the next interaction you have. So instead of thinking of them as like one big giant interaction that leads to another moment of commitment, remember, just reading a text message is trading time. They're gonna read it for the commitment of that time. So you've got to actually really think about the little small steps. So I think if you're going to be successful in stringing them together, don't string together big blocks. One little piece. And maybe here's the thing: people that use the loyalty loop methodology tend to interact with their customers far more than the brands that don't embrace the loyalty loop, because they're thinking in big campaigns, whereas the other brands are thinking in small little one hits. As soon as they learn a new piece of information, they send just a little note or a little thank you or a little idea or a little inspiration or a little answer to a question they might be thinking. And that's what makes it successful.
Yeah, makes sense. And then obviously audit the process so you don't get the email with no phone number and et cetera.
Exactly. How embarrassing is that? In fact, I told someone that story and they sent me a worse one, if you can believe that.
Okay.
Like it was also for a car, and it said it had a thing that said insert relevant inventory here.
Right. Insert something about their interests here.
Exactly. That's so bad.
Okay, so another question is tracking offline behavior as part of the omni-channel customer journey is tricky.
Yes.
What would you suggest?
Oh man, tracking the offline experience is very tricky. Here's what we found. I think if you can correctly start to identify moments of inspiration, for example, maybe you've realized that the real moment of inspiration for people buying a minivan is because they're having the third kid, right? Well, then you can assume that they do a bunch of stuff offline, even by asking just a few customers about their offline experience and start to build an experience around that. Now, the key is you've got to adjust and learn from each of the experiences you're building. And the other thing is, I would encourage people to try to get closer and closer to that moment of inspiration with a simple moment of commitment. So instead of trying to market minivans, why aren't we looking for people who are about to have their third kid? We can target the advertising better, and we know that their moment of inspiration might be one that we could create. The current car they have may not fit their new lifestyle that they're about to embark on. And I know lots of other people are marketing at them at that time thinking that way, but the earlier that you're there, the better you can build that relationship and take them from doubters to believers where they're willing to commit in a much bigger way. So it is very difficult to do offline tracking in a meaningful way, but don't discount the process. And there are great technologies that will help you get more insight into those behaviors. I'm sure it's down the pike, but stay encouraged and use the current customers and their experience to inform what people are doing when you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I'd add to that, with something like a CDP, which is what we're selling.
Yeah.
We've worked with Subaru, which is, large automotive company, and the offline data they have is dealer visits. They have car shows.
Perfect.
Fill in their card to, win a prize.
Exactly.
And then other, even things like Wi-Fi. So yeah, you can actually, a lot of times you actually have the data. It's just about
totally
and making sense of it.
Access to that data is there. So here's the thing. Somebody has that data, right, Tom? Like no matter what you sell, like maybe it's Cannondale's got the data and now you've got to marry it together. Like there is a really, if you focus on trying to answer the questions you need answered, somebody has the data and you can get a much better picture of the offline experience and then start to market around it in a more meaningful way to create a great experience at every touch point.
Yeah, and I think part of the secret was also in your presentation where it's the app, right? The Domino's app.
Yeah.
Where, if you have a loyalty app as a retailer or other company, you can then drive them to let you know when they're in the store, because they're going to say, well, I'm giving you points for this, or I'm finding something that I would look for and you tell me where it is, or it's, buy online, pick up in store. So you can create those connections offline.
Totally. Who does T-Mobile Tuesdays is a great example of that. T-Mobile, I don't know have you seen it, Tom?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're a T-Mobile customer, but if you're not, go find someone who is and ask them to show you what T-Mobile Tuesday is all about. But here's what it is. You download a separate app as a T-Mobile customer. It's only available for T-Mobile customers. So you put in your phone number, it checks, make sure you're legit. And then every Tuesday, all of a sudden it alerts you and says, guess what? You got something brand new. And you're like, what is it? And it's usually a coupon to something. So like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or a movie, those kinds of things. But on top of that, if you go into the store, again, we're trying to marry that offline interaction. They'll give you something, sunglasses, a hat, an umbrella when it's rainy season. It's genius. And it's just so well executed and delivered so well. So check it out if you have a chance, but it's really smart stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. And then last question here is, you mentioned 6 loyalty loop drivers. Can you go through them all?
Yes, yeah, definitely. And I'll send you the list, Tom, so you can send it to people that were on the event. But basically, it's raise anticipation, maximize the honeymoon phase, re-inspire them to go on a new loop. That's what T-Mobile is doing every Tuesday. They're creating a moment of inspiration by re-inspiring them through that app to go on another journey. And they'll do they're creating that moment of inspiration. The next one is answer the trigger question. So when that alert pops up on my phone and says, hey, we've got something new for T-Mobile Tuesdays, my question is, what do you have this week? And the next one is answer that trigger question. So they tell me, what do we have this week? It's awesome. Then they remove friction. Removing friction is the fifth one. And the sixth one is to scale camaraderie. That's building mutual trust and respect between the people behind the brand and the customers and clients you serve. So those are the six. There's a bonus seventh one, which I'll send you, Tom.
Anticipation. All right.
Boom.
Well, that was an awesome webinar. I learned a ton.
I'm so glad.
Too. So any last words before we sign off, Andrew?
No, just remember, attach those emojis to every interaction in your experience. And if it's not a bunch of joyful excitement, we've got work to do. We can create a better experience. So just remember to ask yourself, what impression are we leaving with every single encounter?
Great. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Andrew. Bye, everybody.